Hey, this is Hans-Peder. So today I want to talk about why you should read books, and why they're so important, and why I have a lot of freaking books like everywhere in my room. And I will start saying I totally understand if you think books are boring, if books sucks, if only nerds reads books or something like that, because our school system really hasn't done a good job at making people excited at learning. So I totally understand the framework a lot of people come with when it's about books and stuff. But you still have to see that there's incredible value in reading books. And I'm not talking about fantasy books or stuff like that, even though those can be amazing if you like this stuff. But that's not a requirement. But it's like a requirement to live a really odd, special life. There you need to read biographies, guides. I will teach you how to be rich, and as a man thinketh, books that like teach you wisdom, how to's, what you do in life, all these things, methods. And it's so freaking important because if you think about it, if one person spends his whole life and really focuses in one field, some part of psychology for example, or in finance, and then that person writes a book, basically, that's basically what should we say, 60 years of life experience and guides and tutorials and methods written in one book. 60 years in one book or something like that. How long it has taken to acquire that information. And when you then read that book, and let's say everything from like a week to 2 months or something like that, you've just acquired 60 years of knowledge. And that's really freaking powerful, because when you then start to accelerate and you read more and more books, you will really start to gain knowledge and become better at life, basically. Just become better at life. And I don't remember who said it, but it's something about if you read 3 books about a specific topic: finance, emotional health, meditation, I don't know, yoga, how to garden, all these things, all these different topics of life, and how to make food, how to, yeah, all this stuff. If you read 3 books in a specific area, you will become more knowledgeable than 95% of the population. Think about that. You'll basically become an expert in your field, or what you're interested in, by reading 3 books about something. And then imagine if you read 10 books about a specific area. Your knowledge and everything will just start to expand, and you will become freaking knowledgeable and clever. And of course, you have to apply these things. Again, knowledge is only power when it's actually applied. So you can't just read. You also need to, of course, use these things and these methods. But that's kind of implied. So that's why I really want you to start reading. And yeah, I'll admit it's not fun every time, but the things you learn are really, really powerful. And I would recommend starting reading in areas where you're not especially strong. So if you have depression, start reading books about self-esteem and emotional health and how to improve, and meditation. If you're not good at finance, I'm not so knowledgeable about finance and money, so that's why I'm reading up on it now. But really start to go in depth in these areas where you're weak, if you get my saying. And of course in areas where you just want to improve and get better. And if you want to play the guitar better, maybe read a book about guitars or something like that. So yeah, and really start to improve and learn stuff. And if you really hate books and it's just, I think I've talked about this before now when I think about it, but it's still freaking important. You can, and I've talked about this before, you can use audiobooks. I would recommend using normal books because that's also brain training, because you actually actively read. When you listen to an audiobook, you passively read, you can do something else instead of focusing on, the text and the information. But when reading a book, you actually have to, actively acquire the knowledge. But if you really, really have a rough time with books, then start with audiobooks. Another tip I would say is start reading one line in the book you're reading every day. Just one sentence. And the amazing thing is you will start to get a habit of reading, and you will baby step. I talk about this a lot, you guys know. But I start to baby step it. So if you read one sentence in a book every day, then you begin to build a habit of actually reading. And of course, most people don't only read one sentence. But the reason you have this rule is because then you don't procrastinate, you know. Oh, I don't want to, but you know, oh, well, it's only one sentence. It will take me like 2 seconds, so it's all right. And then if you've gotten over the procrastination, you know, it'll become easier to read and just continue if you want to. And you'll still build the habit, so it's so important. And I can't describe, you know, how much books have really influenced my life. And I would say, of course, there's other methods of learning like YouTube and yeah, other places where you acquire knowledge. And that's good and that's fine. But there's just so much value in books, as I talked about before, with like 60 years of life experience pressed down in one book, basically. And you learn so much as long as you, of course, apply the things that you learn and read. So that's why I think books are so powerful. And again, it's totally okay if you don't like reading. Audiobooks are also an option, like Audible by Amazon and stuff like that. But you really have to read. And again, now I've basically finished the main I don't know what to call it, message. But I really want to ground this down to why you need to read. If you look at any successful person, like really, there's a really high chance they read. If you take Bill Gates, he's a really avid reader who reads a lot. And if you take Robin Sharma or Vishnu Lakhani or yeah, Warren Buffett reads a lot also. Like also, books are really important, and you need to start acquiring it. And the only reason you don't like to read books is because school kinda, sorry if I use the word, fuck you over. That's the truth, you know. Because learning is awesome and it's fun. You know why? And you know why learning is fun? It's because it improves your life. So learning is not as bad as school has made it seem, because you know learning improves your lives and can really get you to the next level. And you know, yeah, so you really shouldn't be afraid of learning. And you know the awesome thing about reading books is, you know, when you do it in school, there's tests and there's worry and oh no, I don't know if I'm good enough. What if I'm stupid? What if I don't understand it? When you just read for yourself, there's no one to hold you accountable. This of course means that you have to again take responsibility and read because no one's watching you. But it also means you won't be punished for not, you know, getting everything in the book. But you'll still learn and get awesome life lessons and get methods and stuff. And it'll be a lot more fun because, you know, the teacher aren't, you know, putting a gun to your head and saying you have to understand everything or you'll get punished. It becomes a lot more enjoyable and a lot less stressful when you just learn what you want to learn and you take it at your own pace and, you know, take one step at a time. So, you know, read one sentence a day. And yeah, do audiobooks if you want that, if you can't. If you really can't read and you really don't feel like reading. So yeah. And again, one more thing, books are really cheap. Like honestly, they're not that expensive. And if you think about, and even, yeah, I will admit some books can be a little expensive. But if you think about how much money do you do on, you know, the cinema, do you use in the cinema, trying to speak English again here, do you use on the cinema, how much money do you spend on drinking out with your friends, how much money do you spend on, you know, Netflix, on food? If you just decided, like, to cut a little bit out, like once a week and spend it on a book, that could literally change your life. And what did you lose? You only lost, like, I don't know, 2 tacos or a pizza or something, or like a week of Netflix. So it's really not that bad when you cut it down. The price may seem high, you know, when you just look at a book, but it's actually not at all. So for my sake, because I really want to see you grow, and for your own, start reading. It will seriously improve your life. So yeah, this was Hans-Peder. See you guys later, and hope you read some awesome books. Bye.